MILFs, Naughty Wish, Desperate MILFs, MILF Breeding Erotica. Copyright 2022 by Tori Westwood. Written by Tori Westwood and narrated by Jett. MILFs Naughty Wish. Desperate MILFs. Since moving to the tiny Welsh village of Traven, I'd really struggled. I wanted to get away from my old life after splitting from my husband, and in the process, I'd moved farther away from my family too. They said they understood, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was running away or abandoning them. I just thought it was time to focus on my own happiness, I guess. Traven wasn't exactly a cultural hub, and I'd known that when I moved. Still, the quiet mornings, quiet afternoons, and quiet evenings sure did make everything a little more simple. The locals congregated in pubs and talked sparsely elsewhere. I tried to strike up a conversation and form friendships, but so far all of my interactions were brief and civil. There was no warmth from anyone. I just needed that connection, you know. But I was thinking I wasn't going to find that here. I suppose when you move to the middle of nowhere, you're limiting your pool of potential friends and lovers immediately. In my mind, I'd imagined coming out here and meeting a young stud that would reawaken the parts of me that I felt I'd closed off. I'd fantasized about making love on the sand and living my teens again, but in the 9 months I'd been here, I hadn't even come close. The only man who fitted the bill was my neighbour's son, Shaun, but he couldn't have been much older than 19. It seemed as though the younger generation moved out of Traven as soon as they were able. I started to get desperate. Not so desperate that I'd fling myself on the geriatrics at the local pub, but desperate enough that all my waking hours were spent fantasizing about being ravaged by a semi-attractive man that I happened to glance at. Since moving here, I'd heard many a local legend and tall tale, but one of the ones that struck me was about a secret cave some way down the coast that could only be visited at low tide. It was said to contain all your deepest, darkest desires. I was confident it was bullshit, but I figured at the very least I could get a good walk to somewhere I hadn't been before. I did a little reconnaissance mission down to the beach and to the rocky outcrop from where the cave was visible around the bay.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?